Good morning. This is Katie with NLFX Professional. I have Erik Hess here with Light Up My Walls.
Light
And
up
we
the walls.
light up my walls, right? Yeah.
The walls.
Light up the walls, not my walls. But light up my walls. And then your DJ company name is My Dance DJ.
Yep.
Okay, but you're mostly focusing on lighting right now. So, Erik, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got to where you are, and then we'll talk about the transition from event DJ to mostly lighting.
Okay. Just celebrated 25 years as a DJ since my first paid gig, which was a wedding. And so it's been a fun ride. Many, many years, did it on the side. I was on staff with Young Life, working with high school kids. And it was a great supplemental income. And we did a lot of events, school events, weddings, private events, and then started getting busier and busier. And then uplights started getting popular. And so, LED uplights started getting popular. You know, hotels have been doing uplights forever, but when LED uplights came out, we kind of saw that opportunity. There weren't many in my market that were doing lighting for events. There were some companies doing lighting for big scale concerts, big scale weddings, but not for your everyday wedding. And so I really jumped on that and named my company Light Up the Walls. I can understand what uplight was. So I wanted the name to kind of reflect that.
Perfect. And then, so the transition from become a DJ to lighting was because it was gaining popularity. Is that the only reason, or is it something that you really enjoy doing, the process, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I love the creative process of doing it, taking a ordinary place and making it amazing with lighting. And some of it, there's so many DJs out there, and there weren't that many that were specializing in lighting at the time. This was 9 years ago or so. And we just found a niche where we could thrive. It really has taken off for us. We still DJ. For a while, I wasn't even marketing DJ. We were just taking the events that would come to us until this happened. So now I'm happy to do any type of work. So we will DJ, we will do lighting, small jobs, big jobs.
So I'm going to throw an image up on the screen, and would you mind walking me through how your creative process for this building here?
This is a home. This was for an Indian wedding. And all I was given was a picture of a home in India for a wedding. Can you do this? And before this job, we didn't own any of these lights. And so we purchased all these lights. We worked with a lift to put all these lights up. And that's over 3 miles of mini bulb strands hanging a foot apart. And I think 14 palm trees that we wrapped. Fortunately, there was a lot of other lighting. And so this was 3 days of lighting at their home for events there. And then their reception was for 3,500 people at the convention center. And so we did that lighting as well. So that was probably the largest single lighting job that we've done, but it was amazing.
So they gave you a picture. Oh, I'm hearing some echoing here. Let me pull you down here. I have Facebook closed. I shouldn't be hearing myself. I think we're good. Okay, so they gave you a picture, and they said, do this, right?
Yep.
And so my question for you is, do you work with your clients to come up with different designs? Or, I mean, is this exactly the way they wanted it to look? Or did you talk to them? Did you walk them through the process?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing it long enough that we have a lot of pictures on our Instagram, a lot of pictures on our website. So sometimes it's a client finding that and going, oh, that's exactly what I want. And other times they've been on Pinterest way too much. And they're like, I want this. Wait, it's going to cost that much? Like, yeah, Pinterest doesn't tell you how much it takes to pull that off. So it's a combination of what we've done in the past and what we're capable of doing. And then it's always fun when there's a challenge thrown our way from a wedding planner or from a client that wants a certain look. And we just have to evaluate, okay, can we invest in that much more lighting? Like this job, the job was big enough that we could do okay with purchasing all these lights.
So let me throw this one up here. This was one of the favorite ones that you sent me this morning because I love the look of it. So with the string lights, how do you manage a look like that? Because it's out in the open, obviously. So can you walk me through how you got this look?
Yeah, for this is a backyard. And for what we did, I think we used very few poles around the edges. We were able to attach to the house, to some trees, to that building. But we have some freestanding poles around the outside and a tall freestanding pole in the middle. So there's only one pole in the middle of where everyone is. And that's being pulled on every side by the market light. So it's pretty stable. So we're in Central California, lots of outdoor weddings. And so the lighting business has kind of morphed from, we started just with uplighting, and we decided to market that separately because we knew if someone had a DJ, they weren't going to hire another DJ company to come in and do lighting. And so that's why we kind of split the two marketing wise. And so we're doing this a lot. We've actually done lighting in a goat field, completely empty field, just with poles and the light strands.
Very
so
cool.
One thing we're finding, that picture is a great example. During this time, a lot of the weddings are going to be smaller weddings. And so we have added a page to our website called Intimate Weddings, because no one wants their wedding to be called, oh, we're having a backyard wedding, or we're having a small wedding. We came up with Intimate Weddings because it can still be nice. Your budget can even go farther, and you can do some amazing things with lighting, with your decor, and making that small wedding amazing too.
So then are you marketing that intimate wedding right now? Because as the world opens up, people are going to be allowed together, but in smaller groups. So are you marketing that hard right now to bring in new clients, or what are you doing with that?
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's the new reality. It's when we're getting a call on the phone, they're having a backyard wedding. Here in California, most venues have not opened up yet. Some are talking about being able to open up and social distance. But for the most part, people are going to private properties where there's not the rules. There's not the government saying you can't open your venue. They're like, we can gather in our backyard and social distance and have a small group. So we're doing, it's a combination of that's the calls we're getting, and we're marketing to that, hey, you can have an amazing event, even though it's a smaller event.
So Erik, have you always wanted to be in the entertainment industry? Is that something that you strived for as a child? When you were 5, were you like, I want to be a DJ? So.
No, in fact, at my wedding, we didn't have a DJ. We just background music. We did a little bit of lighting because the room was kind of plain, so we just did some little lighting. It's kind of something I fell into with working with high school kids, and they're really into music, and we just were playing some music for them and decided to DJ for them for a New Year's Eve party, and it just kind of kind of happened. And then, like I was saying, it was something on the side for a long time, and then it's really become it's our only income now, for my wife and I, and this is what we do, and we love it. It's different every day, different location, different challenges, different lighting, and then I still enjoy DJing, and especially for people I know. So, last couple of years I've been much more selective in the DJ jobs that I take, because if I'm doing, let me give you an example. Here, our biggest wedding month is October. We will do 40 events in October. It's my wife and I. We will do 40 events. And so if I'm stuck DJing a wedding on a Saturday in October, there's no way we can pull off 10 events that day. And so we're really limiting ourselves if I'm DJing. So that's the balance that we're having to take right now. With, we can make a lot more money. We can impact a lot more events if we're just doing lighting.
So I think that we should touch base on, it's something that people don't talk about often, but what is your wife's role in the business?
She's very involved. I end up doing most of the marketing, website, collecting money, all of that part of it. But the hands-on of going out, setting things up, we do that together. When we're super busy, I might take a helper one direction. She might take a helper another direction and be setting up 2 jobs at one time. But I try to carry most of the load on the business side of it, so that she can do the family stuff and work with our daughters.
So does she help design the events as well? Or is that just something that you, does she talk to the clients and help design? Or is that just you doing that and she just helps?
Yeah, we're both really good at it. So sometimes she's going out. A lot of the designing is happening when we do a site visit. We're going out to that location, seeing what we need to do. I prefer when she's able to come with, because then we have 2 eyes on it. Then later when we're setting it up, we both know what we talked about. But we try to take good notes if I'm just there, or if she's having to go because I'm busy somewhere else. Yeah, we both design and both bring our creativity to it. So it's fun. We still like each other. So that's a good
that's a good thing. So Erik, if somebody wanted to make the transition from being a DJ into the lighting world, what advice would you give them?
For us, we went from one aspect of it to another. And I don't know, even if I was looking back and going 9 years ago, could I imagine we'd have the inventory, we'd have everything, because it's a huge investment. Uplighting is probably the easiest, most recognizable way to start into it. I always give DJs advice, if you're charging for uplighting, get the best uplights you can. If you're not charging, then get something that's okay. But we try to have the best that we can, so we can get more colors. We can give the client the exact shade of. I'm convinced they make up names for colors, because I get these colors from brides going, okay, I'm gonna have to Google that to see what that is. But uplighting is a great place to start, because you can start with 10 uplights. And grow from there. We have 100 of our uplights plus our B stock from older uplights, that sometimes they're all getting used. So
do you? I know when people think uplights, a lot of times people think of just bringing them with and throwing them on the floor and just shining them up a wall. Is there more to it than that?
Yeah, I'm surprised, because I didn't know that we had an eye for it. But then I've seen what other DJs or other decor people have done with uplights. I'm like, okay, that just looks wrong. Some of it, when I'm looking at a backdrop, I like having an odd number so that there's one in the middle, and then they're spaced out evenly. A lot of it depends on the room and how you're going to place with the architecture of the room and bringing that out and enhancing that with the lighting. Yeah, with uplighting, it's almost easier for me because I want things to be placed just right. And with market lights, that's the opposite. You want cattywampus. You want lights going everywhere because then you see each strand going. Where with uplights, you want them to be symmetrical and spaced out really nice.
So on the same note as these intimate weddings, because we are also getting into our wedding season, the weather's getting nicer. People may want to have their events outdoors. So is there something that someone could offer right now as like string lights or anything like that? Like you would recommend this is what you need to offer because this is what people are buying?
I think it depends on your market, because if you do a lot of outdoor weddings, string lights have been a good investment for us. If your season is short and you're not doing a ton of outdoor, it's a big investment. It's a big learning curve, just to not be breaking bulbs, and having the right system and the right safety stuff. Also, with adding market lights, I used to carry just DJ insurance, and I had to switch insurance companies. I had to switch to an insurance that would cover hanging things over people's heads so that we could do chandeliers, so that we could do market lights. So it about doubled our insurance premiums, but I wanted to be covered. And I didn't want to be surprised, if something were to ever happen and then the insurance company go, "You were doing what?"
Right.
So that's something to really consider.
So one might think if you're hanging chandeliers and all of these lights, that you're more in the decorator rather than lighting. Would you say that would be inaccurate, or would you let's say it's kind of a mixture?
I don't know. At least in our market, there aren't many decorators that are that into lighting. They might do some little Christmas light type things, but it's a whole. I mean, we own 3,500 feet of market lights, so it's a whole thing. And I've seen a couple others in the market try to do market lights, and I'm surprised we figured it out.
Well, good. I love your work. I think it's amazing. Let me throw one more picture up here. There's that one. That looks like a larger event than the one that I showed before.
I missed the size of event. Someday we'll be back there.
Right.
Yeah, this is each of those strands is going out 50 feet. So that's 100 feet circle basically that we're making of light. And so for this large wedding, it was amazing. So same light setup as that smaller backyard, just more lights and longer runs.
Looks like we have Ron here. He says string lights are huge. I rent them. I have outdoor and outdoor multicolor lights for corporate events and weddings, backyard parties. I set up over 6,000 feet plus. He loves them.
And we haven't found much, yeah, it's a huge investment. We haven't found much where people want the different colors of bulbs for market lights. I know that those exist, and I've seen them at amusement parks or things. Most of ours want that classic string light look. So we're happy with the warm white.
So Erik, our time's almost up. Before I ask my final question, do you have any final thoughts or anything like that to the people that are watching?
just wherever you are, I think the word for 2020 is pivot. I think to pivot, and like we are with the intimate weddings, and going, okay, we can make good money on intimate weddings. We'll probably have to do more of them to make the same as we would on a larger wedding, but we can still make a living doing intimate weddings. So try to find, whether it's DJing and how to market, how you would do a smaller wedding, and whether that same price point you're going to be able to get, I don't know. But we need to change and be ready for what's happening right now.
Perfect. So I don't know if you've watched any of my webcasts, but the final question, my son, who will be 10 on Saturday, I can't believe he's going to
hold on a second.
Okay. Hey, look at that. He will love that. I'm going to have to show him the replay. Aw, thank you.
There you go.
So the final question is, who would win a fight, a dinosaur or a robot?
I'm going to have to go with dinosaur.
Oh, you had it all. Look at you. I love it.
Yeah, I think dinosaur, because I think a dinosaur is going to fight for its life. And if you've watched all the Jurassic Park movies, life will find a way. Yeah. And so I go with the dinosaur.
Awesome. I love it. Guys, if you have any questions at all, write them in the comments. We are going to monitor them afterwards. If I am unable to answer them, I will reach out to Erik and he can answer them. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at NLFXKatie and YouTube at NLFXPro. And then make sure you head over to Erik and follow him to Instagram is
Light Up the Walls.
All right, cool. I'll see you guys tomorrow.